We're very fond of the Hyundai Ioniq 5. So much so we named it our 2023 SUV of the year, and our appreciation has only grown since then. Its attractive exterior styling, functional interior, and focus on good, honest EV dynamics all add up to make one heck of a package, and when you factor in its relatively attractive price point, it's hard to find a downside. Word first got out Hyundai was planning a hot version of this SUV in 2023, and we saw its promise on our initial prototype drive. Then, later that year, we got to drive a production 5 north on the road. Now we've been let loose in the 5N WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. The Ioniq 5N is by no means just a dual-motor Ioniq 5 limited with a simple software remap. Revised exterior features include a new open grille with active shutters and air curtains. The hood is adorned with a black H emblem and flat aluminum N badge that add wow factor for those watching one barrel down via their rearview mirror. The N is 2.0 inches wider than the standard 5, and it rides on 21-inch forged wheels. Out back, an N-exclusive rear spoiler adds nearly 4 inches to the rear overhang, and a new rear bumper with diffuser is also fitted. The addition of a handsome surround strip on the lower trim, as well as checkered flag-inspired reflector and CHMSL all hint at what this car was designed to do: go fast on racetracks. In fact, Hyundai recently announced plans to race a single-make series with the 5N-based N1 Cup car. The company will also take a production 5 north up Pike Peak in June. More on that soon. During a pre-brief before we hit the track, Hyundai stated the Ioniq 5N is a car you can drive to the track, put in a good number of laps, and then take home all in the same day. This isn't a rare claim for performance cars, but for an EV it presents some obvious issues, which Hyundai believes it has addressed. Hyundai wants the Ioniq 5N to be the benchmark performance EV, and to that end it set an internal target that the car should be able to complete 2 full laps of the 15.7-mile version of the Nürburgring Nordschleife at full tilt without any loss in performance. A tall order considering many EVs begin to trail off after just a few minutes of hard use. However, as I unwound the Ioniq steering wheel, aimed the car down Laguna Seca's start/finish straight, and punched the accelerator, my 10th lap without any sort of recharging, I realized Hyundai has not only achieved its goal but blown right by it. Another thing struck me on that same straight, lifting off the accelerator, making the adjustment to revector the car prior to the blind crest that serves as turn 1, was that I kept having to remind myself the Ioniq 5N is an EV. That may sound silly, but 2 clever systems make it possible. For instance, as the revs fell, the inertia of the car's weight transfer lightly pushed my head forward. Let me explain. First, the proprietary N-E-Shift system replicates the feeling of an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, missed shifts, power interruptions, and all. Of course, as we pointed out in our prior drive review, this negates the primary advantage of an EV when it comes to performance: bottomless, immediate, and uninterrupted torque. But it's damned convincing. And what's the feeling of a combustion engine without a soundtrack to go with it? Enter Hyundai's N-Active Sound Plus, which syncs the interior speakers with E-Shift's efforts and provides an aural accompaniment. A flick of the right side paddle, yes, this EV has paddles, behind the wheel switches the automatic DCT into manual mode, and with that, the final piece of the puzzle is revealed. You're driving a car that feels like a 641 horsepower 2.0-liter 4-cylinder and dual-clutch transmission, which is actually a 4,900-pound electric SUV. Putting it all together. On the track, the 5N is tight as a drum, and oftentimes as loud as one. There are 3 different audio profiles to choose from. I sampled all 3 and came back to the most authentic ignition mode. That one draws inspiration from the 2.0-liter 4-cylinder Hyundai engine, and it helped massively with pacing out a lap via familiar routine, sorting shift points, identifying braking zones, and understanding the car's behavior. Dynamically, the Ioniq 5N does a great job of hustling its mass around the track, masking its weight under braking and in the corners. Even with the traction control off and set to full race mode, the car remains calm and composed, resulting in a settled chassis that's happy to receive mid-corner inputs, and which rewards with a tail wag from time to time. Indeed, the 5N does have a drift mode which we saw demonstrated to great effect. It throws most of the power to the rear wheels and electronically locks the mechanical rear diff, facilitating the shredding of a set of N-specific Pirelli P0s in roughly 2 minutes. When you're not torturing them, those P0s offer spectacular grip, and we didn't experience them falling off even as the track temperatures rose and pressures mounted.